Okay. Ah! That. Okay. Why is only Kashkush's chat on? I will need to check. Uh, I will need to check the YouTube chat later. But hi, hello, hi, welcome. How are y'all doing? I hope you're doing well. Oh my god. Okay, all chat is okay. I'm so excited. Okay, hi, I mean, hi, Toik. Hi, NTC. Hi, Siobhan. Hi, Hashkush. Welcome. Oh my god. Hi. In third Chinese name. Welcome. Oh my god. I'm so excited. Um, I am so fucking excited for today. Because if you didn't know, like, I've known Ashur for a while. And for a while, I mean, little years now. And and I literally want to cry. And I'm just excited because because I haven't talked to Ashur in like a year more or less. And I used to be like super good friends with them, and we used to talk more often. But then like stuff happened, and but yeah. Hi, happy Torik. Welcome. I had a dream that Sebs was speaking Estonian on stream for some reason. Oh my god, I would someday. Like if I was able to speak Estonian, I would, but no, I'm not. But yeah, I'm so excited for sure. They will be coming in an hour still, so yeah. But I start stream and we talk about stuff. But yeah, I'm so excited. Okay, then yeah, I'm really excited for sure. Um, and then I finally finished editing the Lumi interview. I sent it to them. I want them to check it, to check the final edit, to approve it, and then I'm going to publish it. But I think it was super good, and yeah. And other stream related stuff. Yeah, we're going to just continue the streams here on YouTube at least for the months, next months to come. I haven't sent the Twitch appeal yet because I'm still like processing it. I'm like, and honestly, I don't know how to go about the appeal, to be honest, because it's so weird. But yeah. You're an hour before football. Please fill me in with the queer propaganda. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, I just saw your message. Oh, interesting. Freak. I am already seeing that YouTube chat doesn't update as well in OBS. So, oh no, wait. I think, oh, because in OBS it's giving me top chat. Okay, now I can see all chat. Okay. I don't know why. I don't know how top chat filters, because like how can YouTube tell what messages are like superior than other messages, like, but yeah. But yeah, so yeah. And I'm sorry, I don't know Mandarin. Okay. Also, I would suggest you not doing that because it could be a little inappropriate. But yeah. But yeah. Also, what's your name? Because I cannot read your name. But what would you like me to call you? And exciting news. Uh, well, it relates to Good Morning China. Today I have ice cream. Oh, nice. That's red sun in the sky. Oh, interesting. Never mind. um. Okay. So I don't know how to announce this, how to mention this, because that. But I will be. Also, wait. Oh no. No, it's okay. To join. Oh my god. I will be moving to Australia. Yay. But I still need to. Cause I will be studying there. Yay! And if you've been watching some of the streams for a while, it's been a process that I've been working towards for almost a year. That's why I had to take my English exam like last year. That's why I've been doing a lot of like documents and processes. That was the documentation that I was waiting for a couple of a couple of days ago. So yeah, like yeah, yeah. Thank you, NTC. They hold huge amounts of powers and will hunt humans down. Oh my god. But yeah, so yeah, and I will be like, well, I have to get there on the 10th, so I don't have that much time. But basically, my mom is going to buy me the ticket, but I will still fundraise for the ticket to pay her back. But yeah, so yeah, but yeah, I will. Yeah, I'm excited to announce it. Finally, I can just talk about it because I don't want to speak about things until they happen because I don't want to jinx stuff because it happens to me a little too often. But yeah, I am moving to Adelaide, but I am not staying in the main city. I'm staying in a city near Adelaide, but it's still like the Adelaide area. Um, so yeah, um, yeah, that and yeah. So that's what what I've been meaning to tell you all for a while. Do you plan on IRL streaming over there? Yes, yes, NTC. I am literally, how do I explain to you? Literally the day. Okay, when I'm on the, I will be IRL streaming throughout my travel there, throughout my trip there. So on the on the airport, if I have Wi-Fi, every time I have Wi-Fi, I will be IRL streaming. Cause first of all, it's going to be a lengthy trip, and there's going to be a lot of time to kill. So I will be IRL streaming, uh, on my trip to Australia, and um. the airport. I know, but like I'm thinking. Hopefully there will be like. Oh, I cannot use. Hopefully there are going to be like other establishments where I can use the Wi-Fi there. but you know, we're going to we're going to see how it goes, and I'm going to, you know, but yeah. So yeah, and lucky for me, setting up the streams on my phone, I imagine it's going to be actually easier than setting them up here with OBS. But yeah, I feel I will still test an IRL stream on YouTube uh, before the trip. But yeah, I'm so excited. I want to IRL stream on the airport. I will try my best to IRL stream the first day, and if the first day is too hectic, at the very least the second day, and then I'm going to like settle down, like see like where it goes, and yeah. Either way, I will, as always, be trying to update you all through Discord or through Blue Sky / Twitter. So, yeah, but definitely on Discord, I will put the most updates because it's more like, not, I mean, yeah, it's more private, but also it's like a safer space, and yeah. So, yeah, but I'm so excited. Where are you moving from? I'm moving from Peru. I live in Peru, in Lima, and and I am so excited. But um, so yeah, but yeah, but today, but yeah, so yeah, I can finally announce it because like I got my visa, my student visa, and that was I was scared because I thought they were not going to give it to me because it was taking a little too long, and then like they sent me the email, or they sent the email to my agent, and then but yeah, it's been such a stressful process because it's not the first time I've tried to move abroad or study abroad, and I want to cry so bad, but yeah, but yeah, so there's that. Then I will yeah. So today we'll have the interview with Sure. Tomorrow we'll have critical ace theory on, and on Friday, now that they have confirmed it, on Friday we'll be having Adrian Bigthan, and that will be the official closing of Pride Month, allegedly. But yeah, and yeah, I think there's that. I want to think about any other. Oh yeah, and Silver Spook canceled didn't cancel it necessarily, but to all the interviews. Hi, Robin Blind, welcome. To all the interviews that were left to happen, that still had to happen, I sent a message to everyone informing them, hey, I've been banned from Twitch, so if you are not comfortable, we can postpone it. And Silverspook was the only one who said like, yeah, I would be more comfortable if you return to Twitch, so I respect that. And also like, look, out of all the guests that I had left, Silverspook is the one that speaks about the most explicit, overt, political, radical stuff. So I get it. And on top of that, being indigenous Hawaiian, I get having to be a little more careful to avoid things like what happened to me. But yeah. But yeah. And finally, I wanted to thank Anarchist Tech Support for the donation that they sent me after like offline. So thank you. I already sent them a message, but still I wanted to mention it here on stream. But yeah, this is the second time I got an email this year about my sub getting cancelled. I'm sorry. But yeah, and honestly, that's the worst part is that like because it's 30 days, they cancel the subscriptions, and it's like when I go back to Twitch, I will have to like build everything back up, and it's. But whatever. I mean, to be fair, I will. I know it's not, but still, I feel so frustrated about it. But because you don't bleed purple now, that's the worst part. That's the funniest thing, honestly. I was making so much fun of bleeding purple in the last interview with Bitingale, and now I literally I legit bleed purple. Okay, I love Twitch, but I guess they don't love me, so it's okay. But at least I will try to set up that when I come back to Twitch, I will be multi-streaming. I don't really expect a lot of growth to happen on YouTube, but since I already started streaming on YouTube, I don't want to just cut it off. So I will continue, and even if there's like no chat or no viewers on YouTube, at least the bots will be saved more easily, and yeah. So yeah. But what scares me about YouTube is that there is like copyright is much more strict here. So that's something that I will be cautious of. So I might not stream like multi-stream every stream, but yeah. So we'll see. But I will start multi-streaming again, probably not always, but yeah. So yeah, I think there's that. Oh, as I mentioned before, I finished editing the Lumi interview. I sent it to them, and I want them to approve it and check and make sure that they feel comfortable to finally upload it. And yeah, and I started, and I will start then. Well, after today, I will start editing the Soulsome one. So yeah, you could probably split audio so it doesn't get sent to YouTube. I mean, copyrighted content. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, I don't know if the same thing. Like, I will try to watch videos about how to do that, because I don't know if it's the same thing for YouTube as for Twitch, because on Twitch I can mute it for the bot, but I don't know if how it works for YouTube, and if like there are other like audio channels or whatever. But yeah, so yeah. What? Yeah. So yeah, I mean, not send it to YouTube or oh, interesting. Interesting. I mean, I don't know, but yeah. And again, I will see. I will see. It's like, I will deal with it when we get there. Then, oh my god. I wanted to stream yesterday, but I was too depressed. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know why. Like it's. It's weird because like the first time I was banned, we were watching Drag Race, so I knew that I was going into like scary territory for Twitch because of the copyright. But then when Left Blank Bets went live and I saw the notification, I had a gut feeling, and then it happened, and because of that gut feeling, I was like more prepared, like mentally. Like I didn't really expect it to happen, but it was like, I don't know, I just got a feeling. But this time it was very unexpected, and so I'm still I'm still taking a while to process it properly. So yeah, that's why I am like I'm like, ugh. But yeah, why were you banned on Twitch? Copyright? No, the first time was because in this banner it said uh, it said death to the US. And someone reported me for that, and I was like, you know what, I mean, I get it, but yeah. And so they banned me indefinitely, but then I sent an appeal, but then they replied, look, this is the first time, so we're just going to like implement you back on Twitch. So yeah, and I was like, oh. Huge fucking sigh. That's a petty, right? And this time it was because allegedly, because it was I showed allegedly like violent content or something like along those lines, and I like based on what they notified me, I assume is because we were watching a first thought video, and he was showing part of the Israeli of the genocide of Palestinians by the hands of Israel, and because there was some like war footage, I think that is why someone reported me. But the thing is, I believe that uh, a couple of months ago, I basically like angered a community for calling out their whiteness, and since then, like I've basically have had an a target. So like someone from that community was watching my stream and was like waiting or something, and I think that was a good enough reason to report me or something, and Twitch I guess reviewed it and was like, oh yeah, war footage, let's ban this person. So yeah, but I don't know, like this is all like me speculating, but yeah, so yeah. The same video that everyone else watched, literally. But yeah, you don't see news channels on Twitch getting clapped for the same shit, though. I mean, but that's the thing, right? Like, those channels don't get reported in the first place because their viewership, like the people watching them, know what they are covering, right? Whereas, that's why I think it was somebody who was angry, for lack of a better word, at me, and like wanted to take me down basically, and that's why they reported me. And because they reported me, Twitch had to review my bot, and based on that they decided to ban me. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, this is how Twitch works. Like, people say, people think that Hassan was banned because of his 9/11 comment, but it wasn't because of his 9/11 comment. It was because a certain community, Steven's community, was mass reporting Hassan, because he has, because that's what Steven's community does. And so, because of so much report, I don't know, I'm not sure based on exactly what or why Twitch banned Hassan, but or what was their reasoning behind it. But basically, it was because of the reports that Twitch watched. Like, we're looking for a reason to ban Hassan, and he ended up being banned. But yeah. As covering and ongoing news stories around allegations of genocide is a genocide, but I mean, oh, that is a good way. But the thing is, like, the community guideline violation is showing the weapons. So yeah, but it's like, again, it's like weird because, like, when you think about, like, how many, like, war games are there actively being played on Twitch, and it's like, those games are, like, way more gory, way more violent, way more, like, explicit than the actual footage that I was showing through JT's video. But yeah, I was like, oh, but yeah, it was the comments regarding that eye patch shithead, probably. I thought that was regarding IRL firearms. It is supposed to be that, but again, Twitch can enforce it, can enforce the rules however they want, and I'm like, but yeah, but I will, like, again, I just haven't appealed because of the fact that I just haven't been able to process it properly. But, like, yeah, I will probably appeal either later today or tomorrow. But yeah, but I still have to, um I have to complete a couple of documents for the institute that I'm going in Australia. And yeah, so I have to finish a couple of those documents, and then I'll appeal. So yeah. Yeah, was bad, but Twitch is just as mad. I mean, yes, but the thing is, like, Twitch is more forgiving when it comes to copyright. So yeah, like, I will give Twitch that, because I can easily watch copyrighted content or listen to copyrighted music on Twitch, and they will basically protect me. And people don't talk about this because the narrative is like Twitch is evil, and Twitch is evil, but it's still, like, if I listen to copyrighted music, Twitch will mute the bot, like, will mute the music, will mute everything that is being, that is, it will mute the audio where the copyrighted music is, and Twitch will mute it in order not to get a copyright. And at the end of the day, it is for their sake more than for our sake, in the sense that they don't want any copyright strikes, because then that reflects on Twitch. And based on how some laws have been crafted, I think in Europe, if I'm not mistaken, Twitch will get part of, like, the blame if there is copyrighted stuff. So that's why Twitch is better in that sense. But for copyrighted videos, like, I'm pretty sure Twitch doesn't have an algorithm or like a bot or whatever that reviews the video copyright. So there's also that. Whereas YouTube's copyright scanning has like they've had so many years to develop it and to understand and to get it, so, and to upload like the media to be flagged as copyright and all of that. So yeah, you know. So in that sense, Twitch is like um more charitable at the very least. But yeah. Um, even if it was that severe, I can understand how it doesn't just get a warrant. That's another thing I was thinking about. Like, like for example, yesterday I saw that two YouTube channels were deleted out of nowhere, and I was like, how can YouTube just delete the channels without like a prior warning at the very least? Like, that's pretty extreme in my opinion. Like, damn. But yeah, like, at the very least warn them. uh but yeah. And so yeah, I don't know. But it's like I feel like we've reached uh take care, March. Thank you so much for coming, for coming by. I appreciate it a lot. But the thing is, like, yeah, like I feel like the landscape has become saturated enough, so that social media platforms are just looking for any excuses to like delete users. Um, and yeah, basically. Which channels? I don't know. It was like it was some like communist news channels, but yeah. I disputed one covering on the other side. Yeah. Oh yeah. It was the comments regarding the eye patch shithead. There's USA military playing COD on Twitch to recruit. Yeah, I know it's deranged, but yeah. I don't know if I like the tweet. If I like them. I will show them, but oh yeah, also like Assange is free. Assange is free. Let's fucking go. I mean, low-key fuck him because he's pretty conservative, but you know, it's a W. It's a W despite that. But yeah, and I am eager to cover like how it went down. Probably on Thursday. Yeah. So yeah, that. Oh no, I didn't like the tweet, but yesterday I saw the two channels were deleted. Oh my god. Sorry. I was looking. Ah! Yeah, I cannot find it, but I just saw it on passing yesterday on Twitter. But yeah. I wanted to talk about something else, and I forgot. Oh yeah, Assange. Um. Yeah, and I think that's it. Oh my god, I don't know why I'm so like nervous, but yeah. Um, other updates. I am going to be completely honest. I When I go back to Twitch, I think I am going to be more anal about copyright. Probably nervous. I mean, yeah. I mean, I am nervous because of a lot of reasons. Like, right now, I'm nervous because of the interview. But I'm also like nervous because like I've always been pretty laissez-faire about like Twitch guidelines because I've always been aware that as long as people don't report you, you should be fine. But it's not even just about the it's not even just about like Twitch TOS. It's like me being aware that, oh wow, like there are people who will never like will never get over stuff even when they were not directly affected, you know? And that me calling out white streamers is hazardous. Cause yeah, as I've talked about it before, like I've called out, had beef, however you want to call it, with like bigger streamers and never had like this kind of repercussion. And I've always covered like pretty radical stuff or pretty like, you know, war. So like I don't want to have to filter myself, but I will actively try to be more cautious around like my language, what we cover on stream, and that kind of stuff. And I feel disheartened by that because like I like Twitch because it was there was a little more wiggle room for me to be more radical and more transparent. And I feel like I've been pushed into a corner where I am not going to be able to be that. And that is like the entire purpose and reason of why I stream in the first place, you know? Like being able to radicalize people, being able to teach people and be transparent and help them learn. And in order to do that, like we have to talk about heavy stuff, you know? And we cannot, like, I feel like I cannot properly teach people, or we cannot properly learn together if we cannot be transparent and open about certain things. You know what I mean? So yeah, and it's been interesting how when I've been doing the interviews, people have like kind of censored themselves when talking about the Palestine stuff. And it's weird because even though I have openly covered Palestine before, and I know that they also cover Palestine in their channels, there's almost this. There was this like unspoken rule in every single one of my interviews where like we knew we shouldn't mention it. We knew we shouldn't talk about it, and it's like weird because like the first time, or rather by the second time that it happened, I was like, oh wait, why am I censoring? Oh, why are they censoring themselves? And it's like, and it's like it goes back to the conversation that we were having about how around the 90s around the 90s there was this shift on celebrity culture of how they were not allowed to be political anymore. And I feel like as a whole the bourgeois state has realized that people have gotten more politically aware in spite of their effort to prevent that. And now they are like kind of doing the most to suppress that political consciousness. And that ultimately leaves the political education that happens through social media at risk. And for better or for worse, when I say political education, it ranges on all spectrums of the left. Because, I mean, being completely honest, anything that any right-wing content will not be educational because it's the same. It's because its job is just to perpetuate the same colonial structures that have been already indoctrinated into people. So they are not really teaching anything new. They are just perpetuating and reinforcing those structures. But yeah, because I think of like 80 like Midwestern marks, regardless of their reactionary tendencies, ultimately they do have a like their anti-capitalist, anti-imperialist baseline is the reason why they still get banned continuously on TikTok, for example. And you also have at the other side of the spectrum, like the super liberal anarchists that sometimes also get not necessarily banned from YouTube, but definitely get their videos taken down or flagged or whatever. And it's like anything on the spectrum of the left is really being suppressed. And it's weird when that suppression is not just coming from the state itself, but from other leftists or other so-called leftists. So I'm kind of just like trying to grapple with the fact that I am also being actively affected by that. And I think that before I thought I wasn't as affected or not affected at all because I am outside the US, I am outside the imperial core, and so that those like regulation measures just don't apply as heavily to me. But I feel like I've reached a point where I have engaged enough where not just the bourgeois state of the US affects me, but also like those regulations, like I don't even know what I'm saying, but yeah, I'm I'm sad, I'm disappointed, I'm angry, I'm nervous, I'm scared, I'm confused. Um and I hope that these like last couple of interviews and by the beginning of July I will have like properly thought about everything. Oh my god. So yeah. Oh my god. Hi, sure. Okay, give me a second. I will I will finish talking and yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, like that is where my mind is at, and I totally see like this point in history in where I encounter myself right now as a transition point. But yeah. Um okay. Oh, okay.
Hi.
Hi. Oh my god. I'm so excited.
What's up?
I'm good. I don't. You have no idea how much I've missed talking with you.
Oh, oh my God.
Yeah, and I feel like even though we've talked many times, we've never actually talked about like queerness that much in
No,
depth. So yeah.
no, I don't think we have.
Um, welcome to the stream. Okay, give me a second.
Thank you.
But yeah, this is a shirt's background. I made it especially for them.
Oh, goats. I love goats.
Yeah. Um. Oh my god. I forgot that I haven't set up the freaking YouTube chat. Oh yeah, can I randomly ask now, why didn't you stream on YouTube? Why did you go to Twitch?
Um, Good question. I don't exactly remember. I was on YouTube. I did stream on YouTube a few times. Um, I I think it was just because like there were people I was following on Twitch, and like it felt like there was more of a community on Twitch. And I think
Hmm.
YouTube has like a raid feature now, but that didn't used to be a thing.
Yeah.
Only Twitch used to have raiding, which I think that was a pretty big part of why I felt like I wanted to stream on Twitch. And also, like, I could just take the VODs from Twitch and put them on YouTube anyway. So it wasn't that big of a deal to me. But yeah, but then like I met like Grom and Benny, you, and all the gang from
Hmm.
the materialists, right? And then it just felt like it made sense to keep streaming on Twitch because that's where everyone was.
Interesting. I mean, same. Like
Mm.
I like for a while I was thinking of like, yeah, I should like multi-stream on YouTube also, but I was like, but YouTube streaming is boring. And
Yeah,
look,
maybe.
I am generally not struggling, but it's like it is very bland. Like there are not. I mean, I know that BTTB now works on YouTube, but
Mm.
it was very stale.
Yeah. Yeah, I love the B2B emotes and stuff. That aspect is also pretty important for Twitch in Twitch's favor.
Yeah, like, and the thing is, like, Assure is one of the first actual radical streamers that I met that knew about the BTTB emote. And you don't understand how happy that made me. Because I had to, like, teach them forcefully. Like, teach Benny and
Mm.
Grom and all of them forcefully to use BTTB.
I think I don't remember how. I think I probably I got like clips recommended to me on YouTube of Hot Chubby,
Hmm.
and I tuned into a few of her streams, and it was like one of the first like really big streamers that I watched on Twitch. And just in the chat, like I saw all these people typing like kick W and stuff, and I
Oh,
was curious
yeah.
what that was, and that's how I found out what Beat the TV was. And so when I started streaming on Twitch, I decided to get BTTV.
Yeah, and for the ones who don't know, BTTB is an extension that lets you have like basically more emotes,
Yeah,
and that's where all the Pepe emotes have their lore in on Twitch and stuff. But yeah.
yeah.
Okay, let's start the actual interview.
Okay.
Hi, Ashur. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing pretty good.
What?
The summer started. It's nice and hot and sunny outside now, and what is usually a cold and depressing and rainy city. So I'm feeling pretty good.
Well, must be nice because now I'm in winter. Well, I've been in winter for like a couple of weeks now, but
Mm.
at least you have like transitionary seasons. Like Lima only has winter and summer, and so when a
Uh,
new season comes, everyone gets sick
mm.
because there is no like
Well,
temperature
you're still
regulation.
pretty
But yeah,
close to the equator, right? Like it
yes.
doesn't get that cold.
No, it doesn't. But I mean, but now it is getting hotter and colder, and
Mm.
obviously not as cold as Sweden, but I'm not used to this cold, and it's like
Yeah.
the coldest I've ever been. So it's
Mm.
still cold for me. But yeah.
Yeah. What is it, like 30 degrees?
I'm pretty sure it's probably like 20 uh Celsius, right? Like
Mm.
we're normal people here.
Yeah, okay. So to 20 20 degrees, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's on the colder side of a Swedish summer, but like that's still summer temperatures for Sweden.
Oh my god. Damn, but yeah.
Yeah. We get like 25 to 30. That's a hot day for us.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's gonna be like 22 degrees tomorrow, and so I'm thinking I'm gonna go swimming because 22 degrees. I'm like, wow, I gotta take advantage of this heat.
This hot weather.
Yeah.
Oh my god. But yeah. Oh wow. Um okay, talking about weather, how do you
Mm.
identify?
Um, I like publicly. I usually go pretty broad with it, like
Mm-hmm.
non-binary, asexual is usually like the label that I give out like publicly and maybe like people I don't really know that well
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like that pretty quickly communicates like a pretty accurate description of who I am, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um but I mean in reality I think both sexually and like gender wise it's a mess. It's kind of complicated.
I mean, look,
um
we can get as deep as you want or as surface as you want with
mm,
with this. So yeah, if you don't want to like go deeper into it, we don't have to. But like, I would love to
yeah.
know. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, me too, right? Honestly, I think gender-wise, I'm pretty fluid, and I think a lot of it has to do with like who it is that I'm interacting with. Like,
Mm.
because I see gender as sort of a role, right? Like a role
Mm-hmm.
you can slip in and out of, and like different social situations, different relationships call for a different kind of role, and so I feel like I kind of not always intentionally and not very dramatically, but like I kind of slip between more masculine and more feminine depending on who I'm talking to, what relationship we have with each other, and like what the other person is, right? And how
Yeah.
well I feel like because like sometimes I feel very comfortable being very feminine with a specific kinds of people, and then other times I feel comfortable being more masculine with other kinds of people.
Oh,
That makes
interesting.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah. I would like to know the more feminine side of a sure. But are you arrow ace or just ace?
Ace, just ace.
Oh, so you are like are
Yeah,
you
I
biromantic or
yeah, yeah.
yes, I still have a shot. and
Yeah,
and then like where how do you identify like politically?
politically, just a Marxist.
Still a vanilla Marxist. Look,
Yeah,
I like we've all tried to to push them, and they are still a vanilla
yeah.
Marxist. So But it's
I used
interesting.
to be well, I mean, yeah, I used to identify as a Marxist-Leninist when I first when I first joined a political organization. I think I was either 15 or 16 years old.
Oh wow.
Um, yeah, I joined the Revolutionary Communist Youth, which is a Marxist-Leninist youth organization in Sweden.
You're from
Um,
Sweden?
yeah. um, and I was a member for no, 3 years, I think. Um, and yeah, I mean, we did the study circles thing. We read Marx. We mostly read Lenin and Stalin. Um, read a little bit of Mao. Um, yeah. Then I
Oh,
went
it was like
to
very much just the classic.
yeah. Um, then when I started university when I was 18, I didn't really have as much time anymore for being active in political organizations. So
Hmm.
I think I was still a member on paper, but I wasn't really active. And also there wasn't like a local chapter in the town where I was studying. So uh, yeah, I didn't really end up um, being very active in that organization anymore. And I think over time I just um, read more Marx and Engels, and Rosa Luxemburg, Karl Liebknecht, Kolkotsky, and I
Kotsky?
just yeah, yeah,
Wow.
Kolkotsky's economic manuscripts. Um, and over time, I just started to feel like calling myself a Leninist wasn't really accurate anymore.
Accurate. Mm.
Yeah,
I mean, everyone
and
goes through their own journey, so but yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, some journeys are wrong, like yours, but just kidding. But yeah.
um, I think for the most part, I consider myself like pretty um non-sectarian, if that makes sense. Like
Mm-hmm.
I by necessity I think that different parts of the world have different material conditions, different cultures, different social contexts, and that requires different approaches, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to be the one who presumes to know best. Like if Peru decides to pursue a specific, path toward revolution, I don't want to sit over here in Sweden and be like, well, actually, I think I know better than Peruvian
Mm-hmm.
Marxists what Peru should be doing, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't know that. Because I'm missing a lot of context from
Yeah.
the the socio cultural perspective in that particular region, right? So um, I'm generally positive toward most left wing and progressive movements all around the world, and I don't spend a lot of my time getting bogged down in specific ideologies or criticizing this and that country
Yeah.
because I think they're doing revolution wrong or whatever.
I mean, I think that is what is at the core of scientific socialism at the end of the day. It's like learning
Mm,
to properly adapt the revolutionary theory or ideology into your own material conditions. But
yeah,
but yeah. Mm-hmm. Sure.
yeah,
Oh, were you saying something?
no,
Oh, but yeah, I think that is like at the core of the scientific socialist ideology more than just like Marxism per se. But yeah.
hmm yeah,
And
absolutely.
and how did you come up with your name?
Um, I don't think I've ever actually revealed that publicly.
Exclusive.
Yeah. No, sorry, I'm not going to be revealing it here either.
Oh wow.
Um, but I'll
Racist.
just say that those who know, they know.
Look, I tried everyone. I'm pretty sure I know, but I have forgotten. But so I don't
Mm.
know. But I'm pretty sure
It's
I've
possible
been
I
in
told
a
you at some point. Yeah.
yeah. Like I'm pretty sure I've heard this story, and I just have forgotten. So, but look, I tried, you guys.
Mm.
Okay, then going back to the queerness of it all.
Yeah.
Well, not necessarily queerness right now, but how would you describe the environment where you grew up in regards to open-mindedness and politics?
Um, so I was born in not even really a village, just like a country road with some houses next to it. I think there were like 20 people who lived there in total. And then I think when I was like 2 or 3, we moved to the big city, meaning a nearby village of 200 people. Uh, so yeah, that's where I spent my youth in a very small rural community in the middle of nowhere, basically in northern Sweden.
Hmm,
Um, and it was fairly conservative in most ways. Um, uh, in terms of like queerness, I think mm, I yeah, I mean, I think I like barely knew like what homosexuality was. I think I
interesting.
had some idea, like that movie, Sacha Baron Cohen, Bruno, came out, and
Okay.
that became kind of like, oh, that's what a gay is, right?
That's a gay,
Uh,
yes.
yeah. And like my friends would make gay jokes and stuff, and but yeah, like I didn't really know for the longest time what homosexuality was. I maybe I had heard of like transgender or like transsexualism in passing, but again,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really know what it was beyond like the butt of a joke. Um, and I think that kind of it was the kind of like conservativeness or ignorance where it's not like
Mm-hmm.
always active hostility, more so
Yeah,
than just complete ignorance of a topic, right?
yeah.
And that was the case in terms of like race as well, because tiny village in the middle of nowhere in Sweden, uh, there like there were no non-white people until I was in maybe fourth or fifth grade. There were refugees from Ethiopia
Hmm.
um, during the civil war there, um, and those were like the first black people. I think most people, and especially kids, like in my village, saw. It's just one day these kids turned up and started coming to our class,
Suddenly, black
and
people appeared.
yeah, suddenly black people were a thing. And yeah, I think like because there had never been a racial minority, there wasn't like a tradition of like hostile racism.
Hmm.
It like again, it was just complete ignorance of of racism, right? So
Yeah.
while these people were embraced, uh, more or less, there was still like looking back, they weren't treated by their classmates as well as they should have.
There was a
But
lot of prejudice.
yeah, or like there was a lot of questions that people had.
Oh, interesting. Got it.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, no race war. No like violence or anything like that. But that if that gives you an idea of like how isolated of a community this was.
And that's how you turned into a goat. Because you were so
Yeah.
isolated, they were doing witchcraft and they
Hmm.
accidentally turned you into a goat, and now
Yeah.
we have you here.
Yeah.
Uh, when did you first realize you were queer?
Um, I don't really know. I moved to Gothenburg when I was uh either 11 or 12. I think I think 11.
Mm-hmm.
Um, which was a big change, obviously, from a village of 200 people to a city of 500,000. It was a bit of a learning curve, a bit of
Just a
a,
little.
yeah. Um, but yeah, I mean, like I was like on the internet. I was on Tumblr a lot. That was like my social media of choice.
And that's when you became gay. Makes
Yeah.
total sense.
Yeah, I was indoctrinated on tumblr.com.
Yeah.
um I don't know if I can really pinpoint like an
Mm-hmm.
exact moment where I like realized. Um but I think just like partially it was like being on Tumblr, being on the internet, being exposed to things like, you know, tolerance of gay people, like or like the idea of homophobia existing, right? Or
Oh,
like homophobia being
interesting.
a problem in society,
Mm-hmm.
because that was not something that I've ever like encountered or thought about
Mm-hmm.
like intellectually. Actually like sat down and thought about like, well, why are people treated differently because of who they love, and is that right? And then I thought, well, no, that's not right. Right.
Mm-hmm.
um I remember the Westboro Baptist Church was talked about a lot on my Tumblr feed. um they were this tiny group in the US who were, walking around with these signs saying, God hates F words, and like picketing gay people's funerals and stuff like that, just being like the most horrible and vile human beings imaginable. um
Mm-hmm.
and I think just seeing like how like evil homophobes were made it very easy for me to be like, okay, so I'm not that. Don't agree with those people. And so then that's how I got into more of like the gay side of Tumblr, right? And I started following more blogs that were talking about like LGBT issues and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. And then when I was starting middle school, I was a bit of an outcast at first, but I like the first few friends that I made were girls, and I
Mm.
was in like this friend group that was just um, really cool and like progressive and
Mm-hmm.
feminist, and like we would talk about these things. And I learned a lot from that,
That's so fun.
from the friends that I made. Yeah. Um, and like I think just like as like I made more friends and as I became more social, I just became more comfortable expressing myself in like gender nonconforming ways. Um,
Oh, interesting.
yeah. And like all my friends were very encouraging of that. So that made it a lot easier as well. And so, yeah, I don't know the exact point where I was like, oh, yeah, so I'm not straight, I'm not cis. I can't really remember if there was ever like a moment where I like had that realization. I
Mm-hmm.
think for me, it was like it was like a gradual process.
Yeah, because I feel like, based on what you're telling me, you kind of never felt any like overt pressures of having to act a certain way or anything. You were kind of like presented with ideas that, oh yeah, by the way, you can act this way, and you were like, oh yeah, I can,
Yeah.
and you started, and yeah.
Yeah. No, I was very lucky in that way. Like my parents never like as I was growing up like sat me down and told me
Mm-hmm.
like about like sexuality or gender or anything. Like they never talked about any of that, but they were like accepting. Um like I didn't get any
Mm-hmm.
kind of like pushback. Like it was always just you can wear whatever you want, you can do whatever you want. Like it's fine. Um
Oh,
so
nice.
yeah, like the only like pressure or resistance was just my like internalized homophobia that I was dealing with. I really didn't have to deal a lot with any external social pressures.
Oh, then how did you? Where did that internalized homophobia came from?
Just from growing up in like a generally homophobic society.
Sounds like there was an external pressure though. Then,
um
but I mean, yeah, it's
Not,
more
yeah, I mean,
vague, but.
not like against me, but it was just
Mm-hmm.
like um yeah, well, like when I was a kid growing up, people would make jokes about gay people and make jokes about like feminine men and like men
Mm-hmm.
wearing skirts, men wearing dresses was a punchline on TV and in sitcoms and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, like when you're a kid, you look at that and you internalize that, you absorb that. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, like I have this one conversation with a friend of mine, um, like etched into my brain where um, we were on a football field just hanging out and talking, and um, I think I mentioned that like uh, in my next life, I
Mm-hmm.
think I'd like to try being a woman, right? Like I think I'd because like I've been
Mm-hmm.
born a guy, so well if like reincarnation is real, then why not try the other gender, right? Like why not try being born a woman next time? Because well, why would I want to be born as the same gender again? You know?
Yeah.
Um and my friend was just like, "What? What are you talking about? That's so crazy." And he and I think he said like, "Does that mean you want to suck D?" like um And I was just surprised that he was like so against the idea that for him it was just like this, no way, I would never want to be a woman. That's crazy. Because to me it was just like, yeah, why not?
Yeah.
You know? That's something uh that I think about every now and then.
Interesting. Oh wow. I've
Yeah.
definitely had like experiences in that way where like I would say something and people would be like, "What are you talking about?" Or that's
Yeah.
gay. And I'm like, why? That it's just
Mm-hmm.
I just like the t-shirt or
Yeah.
something like, it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Oh, that was another thing. Like men wearing pink. Like I had
hmm.
classmates that would get bullied if they had like a pink T-shirt or something.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Did you ever have did you ever basically like come out?
Not really. No. No,
Oh,
because
that's
like
nice.
by the time I knew that like I wasn't cishet, I lived in like a big city that's also like politically very left wing.
Hmm.
Um, and I was just surrounded by like progressive accepting people. So there was never really a moment where I felt like, oh, I have to come out, I have to make a statement, like I have to do a press release or a press conference. I'd be like,
I mean, not a press release, but
ladies and
like
gentlemen.
I don't know. You at one point you were like, I will tell my parents or I will tell my friend, and they were like, yeah, we knew or something or you know.
um, no, no, not really. Um, like sometimes people would ask me, like,
Hmm.
"Hey, so what are you?" Um,
Well,
but
I'm a goat, don't you see?
yeah. um, but yeah, no, I mean, there wasn't really ever a big moment, a big coming out moment. Um, and I've also I've always been kind of unsure, kind of questioning, like, what
Hmm.
exactly am I? Like, I've used a lot of different labels throughout the years. Um, so I feel like if I was gonna do the coming out thing, I would have come out a lot of different times as a lot of different things.
Fair.
Yeah.
Did you ever use like an obscure label?
Ooh. Um. I don't think so. Like, I mean, I thought like I was a gay guy, um, for a little bit until I kind of realized that like, no, I still like girls. And
The
so I
weirdest
would like,
label of all, vanilla gay man.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, have you heard of this thing? It's called homosexuality. It's kind of obscure, an obscure label. Um,
Interesting. I
so
mean,
like,
yeah.
I would use like bisexuality or pansexuality,
Hmm.
or like polysexuality, I think at some point. I've, I think I went by like gender fluid for a little bit, or agender as
Mm.
well. Um, now I just go with the generic like non-binary. Like it's just I don't really know exactly what's going on.
Generic.
Yeah, like just the umbrella term, like
Yeah.
non-binary, like something gay. I don't know. Whatever it is.
I'm like somewhere in the rainbow. I'm
Yeah.
like a color,
Yeah.
I think.
Mm-hmm.
And how has transition looked like for you? Because you mentioned that you were um, like trying out different stuff throughout school.
Yeah. Um, I think it's just been about experimenting with different fashion styles, makeup, hairstyles, um, and like forming relationships and like just feeling what feels natural, like acting or like um, basically just like doing what feels natural, you know, with different people.
Hmm.
Um,
Oh. Oh, continue. Sorry.
um, and I mean that's pretty much where I am still. It's just like I do whatever feels good or feels comfortable or I think looks good, and you know I do whatever feels natural or comfortable in any given moment with any given person, right?
Hmm.
And yeah, I don't think I stress too much about labels. Maybe someday I will you know I will decide like, oh yeah, I'm definitely this thing or this label. But
Mm-hmm.
I think for now I'm just whatever. I'm just me.
Yeah. Your go gender.
Yeah.
How? Oh yeah. Oh, do you? Oh, I didn't know you experimented with makeup.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I wear
Wh-
makeup pretty much every day.
What type of makeup? Like,
Mascara, eyeliner, foundation, concealer, depending on like how glammed up I want to be, eyeshadow, lipstick.
oh, interesting. Like, so like glam makeup.
Sometimes. But just like everyday makeup, just like mascara pretty
Got
much.
it. No, because I was thinking, oh my God, because there was a time where you had your profile picture here on Discord as the that one comic character.
Oh, Riska
Yeah,
from
from
Homestuck.
what?
From Homestuck.
Yeah, from Homestuck. And
Yeah.
I told you this is exactly how I picture you. So when you mentioned makeup, I'm like, they were wearing like goth makeup or something.
Oh man, you're closer than you might think.
Yeah, so I was like, that's a sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, that's probably that's probably pretty accurate. Riska was probably an inspiration as a teenager.
Interesting. But yeah, I mean, and just so everyone wants to know how a show really looks like, they recently posted a finger reveal on TikTok, so you should follow Asher on TikTok. Yeah.
Yeah. Wanna see my finger.
Asher is white confirmed.
Yeah, I
And
know.
uh
I
was your family always like economically left wing, I guess?
know. Yeah. Yeah, my maternal grandfather was a trade unionist and a member of the Social Democrats, and he became a member of parliament for the Social Democrats. So my mom has always
Oh
been
wow.
a Social Democrat, very like uh what's the word? Active
Militant?
with
Oh,
Social
got it.
Democrats. Yeah. My dad is, I think he's like a Green Party voter, but yeah, he's also pretty much always been um, economically left-ish. He's still like a big EU person, which like kind of like the main disagreement I have with my dad.
Interesting.
Um, yeah, I mean he's just like he's like of the whole like yeah, the EU isn't perfect, but like it can be reformed, and also like leaving the EU would be more trouble than it's worth, you know, that kind of thing.
Are you pro Sweden leaving the EU?
Yeah, of course I am.
Oh, well, I guess I've never gotten into this kind of politics. And like, are
Oh,
you? Yeah, because I'm like, I guess I've never thought about this ever. Uh,
mm.
because I guess
Yeah, I
my
mean,
idea would be more of like, why is there an EU in the first place, rather than like
mm,
particular countries leaving. But
mm. I mean, the EU at its core is a free market economic bloc. Like, the EU exists to
mm,
facilitate free trade across nations, right? That's why it was formed, and that's fundamentally why it still exists, and like enshrined as one of the fundamental rights in the EU. Like one of the fundamental principles of the EU is free movement of capital. That private
Oh,
companies should be allowed to do whatever they want in whichever country they want, and there should be no unfair restrictions against them. That's like at the core of what the EU is. So like anything that would be like any kind of protectionism or any kind of discrimination against foreign companies, it's just like a big no-no for the EU.
discrimination against foreign companies.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how they view it. They literally, the free movement of capital is like the same right as free movement of
As,
people,
yeah.
right? Like, um, the freedom of movement isn't just like people are free to live and move wherever they want in the EU, which I think is great, right? I like the Schengen.
Yeah.
I like there not being borders in the EU, right? But the free movement isn't just free movement of people. It is also free movement of capital. They come bundled, right?
Oh, wow.
They're one and the same thing, right? So and the EU is also like big into pressuring countries into privatizing stuff. Nationalizing
What? No
anything is
way.
basically illegal. Yeah. So anything that is nationalized in the EU is basically stuff that was already nationalized before that country joined the EU. Um, it is exceedingly rare for an EU member to ever nationalize anything. All that ever happened, like it only goes one way, right? Something can be privatized, and the EU encourages that, but nationalizing it is just a big no. You
Oh,
can't do it.
but and how does that work for like healthcare, given that it is nationalized in some EU countries?
Um, you can do universal health insurance,
Mm-hmm.
where private health institutions, like private health clinics, private hospitals, still exist. It's just that the like hospital bills are paid for through taxation. It's called voting with your feet. Is the principle? Is
Oh,
like,
interesting. Got it.
yeah. So like healthcare and also education exists as
Mm-hmm.
like a market. It's just that the consumers don't spend money. They just choose which like company to go to, and then the government pays for it. So like in Sweden, we do have both national, like state owned or
Mm-hmm.
municipally owned healthcare institutions, but there are also private healthcare companies. And you can go to either one, and the government will pay for it either way. It's just that if you go to a
Oh,
private,
really?
yeah, it's just that if you go to a private company, you know, so the CEO or like the shareholders will get profit through taxation. Like the taxes will go straight into profiting like capitalists.
Oh, wow. This is like a.
It's neoliberalism.
It seems like so many steps for no reason.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, if you feel like that is too many steps, you should look up something called new public management.
Oh my
Um,
God. No, what is
which
that?
is it's like uh, it's where you have a like publicly owned like a state owned or like government owned company, right? But new public
Mm-hmm.
management says they have to participate in the market, first of all, to get with all the private companies in the same sector. That's number one. Number two, they can't have an unfair advantage, right? So the government-owned company has to play with all the same rules as private companies do. They can't be given any unfair treatment or advantages, right? And then number 3,
Okay.
they have to basically act as if they were a profit-driven company. Like they have to run the company, the government-owned company that is funded like through state investments, as if they were trying to make a profit. And so like they will cut costs and shit and like basically try to make a profit, but like there isn't really a profit. It's just they're paid, like they're funded by the government, but they are given like a budget and they have to like try to increase the amount of money coming in and decrease expenditure, just because the
Yeah.
market is efficient, because like it's neoliberal ideology basically. It's
Oh
just
my
like,
god.
yeah. And like schools are run this way, like public schools are run this way, where they get paid per like for every student, right? So the schools want to have as many students as possible because they get money from the government for every student that's attending the school. And then they want to cut as much cost as possible. So they want to
Yeah.
have as few teachers as possible and pay the teachers as little as possible in order to increase that profit. Because just because there isn't really a reason for it.
Yeah.
It's just neoliberalism. It's just, well, the market is the most efficient way to run things, and so even the government sector should be run as if it was a market.
It is literally just arbitrary rules to make public services shitty, basically.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, oh, it will save taxpayers money, but it'll also make everything really shit.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, I am so against the EU now, and it's not like I was pro EU, but damn, I didn't know it was this horrible.
Oh yeah. No, I mean, there are plenty of like these like neoliberal laws that are from the domestic political side. Like Sweden has plenty of shitty like neoliberal laws on its book, but the EU just adds to that and encourages it. Like the EU actively encourages member nations to be more neoliberal, to privatize more, to cut down on public expenditures, to let go of government owned shares. Like there was a telecom company in Sweden that was like 53% or something owned by the government, and the EU basically just encouraged Sweden to just sell it off. Like the government doesn't need to own a telecom company, just sell it to private actors. And so we did. And that also is like any company in any EU country can buy shares in any other EU company. So like Swedish Railways is still government owned, but like the Swedish telecom company Telia, when the government sold those shares, anyone in the EU could buy shares in that company. It doesn't have to be like it doesn't have to. Swedish Telecom doesn't have to be run by Swedish companies. It can be owned and operated by Germany or France or whoever.
You have legitimately made me scared of Europe now.
Yeah.
I am just as scared of Europe as I am the US. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, we're not quite there yet, but I mean,
Yeah, but oh my god.
yeah,
Like I didn't know there was these overt rules. Oh
yeah.
wow. And how did you become a communist?
Um, I I was like slowly becoming politically conscious, mostly, or well, I mean, it started like reading stuff on the internet,
Mm-hmm.
but then also through friends and stuff. But like,
Your feminist girlies.
yeah, yeah, like feminism was like the first, like feminism and LGBT rights was like the political
Mm-hmm.
political questions that I ever became interested in.
Oh my god, same.
Um,
Oh my god.
yeah. And then also like environmentalism and animal rights and stuff.
Hmm.
I remember, I think one of the first, like, I knew about like inequality and stuff, but it was never really something I'd consider like a political question that much. But I remember this one time I was following this girl on ask.fm.
Oh,
If
oh.
anyone
Oh
remembers
my
that site.
god. Okay,
Yeah,
first you said I was following this girl, and I was like, why are you stalking people?
on the internet. Um, and someone sent in a question that
Mm-hmm.
was like something to the effect of like, should we encourage everyone to be buying like ecological products, or like go vegan or whatever, or like does not buying like ethical products make you someone a bad person, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she responded with something along the lines of like, well, not everyone can afford to go vegan. Not everyone can afford to buy like the ecological option in stores.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Damn.
remember that because that just made me think like, oh yeah, I guess that's true. Not
Oh yeah,
everyone.
not everyone's rich like me.
Yeah, yeah. I'm so rich. Um, no, but it like up until that point, I had kind of been under the impression that like, uh,
Wait, no, wait, hello? Oh no, I crushed it. Okay, give me a second. No. No. Fuck. Okay, give me a second, chat. Ah! It's so weird. Has been raided by the Swedish Secret Service. No, it's even worse. It's my side that it's like weird. Oh my god, I'm going to. Fuck. Yeah, I was raided by the Peruvian Secret Service. This never happened. No, you know who raided me? It was Europe. It was the EU after exposing them. Europe raided me.
Hi, I
Hi.
can hear.
The EU raided me for exposing them. We should have never talked about Europe.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay, you were talking about your girly pop exposing you to feminism and then you becoming a communist somehow
Yeah.
through that.
Yeah, I said the thing about like not everyone can afford to like
Oh
do
yeah.
consumer activism and stuff.
Hmm.
Um, and then I saw like on my way home from school one day, I saw like spray painted graffiti on the side of like an electrical box. rku.nu, which is the website for the Revolutionary Communist Youth.
It's the
Um,
website for the revolution.
yeah.
Oh,
Um,
nice. Okay.
so I went on there. They had a bunch of like reading material and like Q&As and stuff, and I just thought like, yeah, sure, whatever. Like I'll join. They
Mm.
seemed like interesting people, and I became a member. I started going to the meetings, and I thought it was like, oh, this is cool, and like meeting new people, and everyone's really nice, and like we're talking about politics, and like I'm interested in this stuff, and so, and then we had um, like a reading circle, um, and everything, and started reading Marx, and that was it.
Oh, what? Oh, wow. Like, what pushed you to join? Because you've said it with such like normalcy, but like
um,
I have never thought about like joining an org, but after becoming a communist. So,
I mean that was it. Like I saw the website on spray painted on an electrical box. I went to the website. I read some of their materials, and I thought these people seem pretty cool.
oh,
And
interesting.
I think, um, I mean, it was like $5 to join, and,
Hmm.
and so I joined, and I went to the meeting, and it was cool. Everyone there was cool, and I thought, well, I want to see these people again. I want to talk to these people more, and so I just kept going.
What were you expecting?
Um, I don't know. I mean, like I was interested in like the idea of socialism and stuff, and
Hmm.
like reading some of their materials that like they were talking about that, and um, I was just interested, and so I just went and I kept going.
Were you already conscientiously queer by the time you joined the organization?
Yeah, yeah. I was like 15 when I joined.
Hmm. How would you say that your politics have influenced your no, how would you say that your queerness has influenced your politics?
Um, I'm definitely more of a social constructivist than maybe I would have been if I wasn't queer. Like, I see um, most things in society as being kind of arbitrary and socially constructed.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I think there are some like socially conservative Marxist Leninists who have a very rigid view of things like gender and sexuality,
Mm-hmm.
um, whereas I do not.
Uh, I mean, I feel like I've seen social conservatism in different, in almost all different ideologies within
Mm,
the left spectrum,
mhm.
but mm,
Yeah.
I don't know where I was, because I kind of want to ask you, like, why do you think that happens with Marxist Leninists? But I guess it's more about, like, why do you think that happens?
um, I think homophobia in general just has to do with a lack of exposure to gay people, and I think if you're from uh, a country or a society where like the atmosphere in general is a lot more socially conservative,
Mm-hmm.
then it's a lot more difficult to break out of that. And like I know that because I grew up in a socially conservative place, and it wasn't until I moved to a city that was socially progressive that I actually started to change my views on stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I, to me, at least in my experience, a lot of it has to do with your environment. I do think that in general, like the more like radical your political ideology is, the more likely you are to question not just like capitalism, but also
Mm-hmm.
things like gender and sexuality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Interesting.
Mm,
Um, how, okay, then going back to your, basically your asexuality,
mm,
how do how do your non-familial, okay, this is a two-parter basically. Do you have non-familial relationships that go beyond platonic? And if yes, how do they look like for you?
um, I mean, I'm like monogamous. I've had plenty of romantic relationships in the past. Um, I feel like they, for the most part, look like pretty traditional relationships.
Oh wow, you're a tradwife. Interesting.
Not traditional in that sense, just normal, just like typical.
Normal? What are you trying to say?
Oh no! During Pride Month.
During Pride Month? Oh wow, so you've had like plenty of relationships. Interesting. So I sure is a
Uh,
slut. Got it.
a romantic slut. Romantically involved with lots of people.
Oh, but you're a monogamous.
Yeah.
Boring.
Sorry.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. And do you feel like you have a chosen family?
Uh, I'm not entirely sure what that
Means
means. Yeah,
on
I haven't
Pride
really heard the
Month?
expression. I haven't really heard the expression too much.
Basically, like you know how homophobia exists, and so some
Uh,
like queer people tend to get like kicked out of their homes, and they basically have to find like a new family within the queer community. So, but not
mm,
necessarily queer community, because I've heard the term chosen family before on non like on a non-queer context, referring to just
uh-huh.
like how people find basically their family, their community outside
Mm,
the blood relatives. But yeah.
mm. I mean, I have plenty of close friends, but I'm still on good terms with my biological family. So I, I guess no.
Why haven't you experienced homophobia? God,
I'm
where's the
sorry.
drama? And how did you find video making? Because, like, I know more or less the backstory for your first video,
Mhm.
but, like, yeah, like, how did you get into video making in the first place?
Uh, honestly, um, that first video, and I've told this story a few times. That first video was, I just made it basically to answer a lot of common questions about socialism that, like, I was getting as I was arguing with people online about socialism. And basically, I just felt like I keep going over the same things over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I should just make a video that just goes over it all.
Oh my God,
And
who are you fighting online?
random people on on like Reddit and stuff.
Oh,
I was that
got
kind
him.
of Marxist-Leninist. I felt like, oh, I gotta go out there and proselytize,
Oh
spread
my
the good
God.
word.
Wait, so your first video was when you were a Marxist Leninist?
Yeah.
Exposed. Oh, interesting. And like, did you feel pressure to continue making videos after the first one?
Um, I mean, kind of, but it also felt like an opportunity. Like this first
Hmm.
video that I made, that I didn't really think more than like 20 people would ever watch it, because I just made it so that I could send it to people, like
Hmm.
people who I was talking to. I didn't really expect it to go beyond that. But then when it did, and it got like thousands of views, now it's has something crazy like 4 million. Um, but I was just like, oh, um, I have people like subscribe to my channel now and stuff.
Asher has $4 million confirmed.
If I got $1 per view, I
Imagine.
I would not have to work anymore. I would retire. Um,
uh,
yeah, I mean, I felt like now that I've got a following, like I can make a few more videos and see if they also do well. And they did, and then I just kept making videos.
I was just super popular.
I know. I mean, I didn't set out to become like a YouTuber or whatever.
Hmm.
Um, it wasn't something that I was intending. Um, yeah, honestly, it just kind of happened by accident.
Yeah. Oh wow. Look, I had a question
Mm-hmm.
about Western Europe,
Mm-hmm.
but then you talked to me about the EU, and now I'm like, you already replied it, and now I'm scared of Europe.
Mm. Yeah.
But I guess I can still ask, like, what effects do you think, like, this trend of, like, because Western Europe, I would say Europe in general, I mean, the world, but focusing now on Western Europe, like, it has had, like, a recent trend towards the right.
Yeah.
And how do you think it will affect queer people?
Uh, I I definitely see like the transgender debate, quote unquote,
Mm-hmm.
becoming a culture war issue in other more countries throughout Europe. It's already, I mean, it's completely taken over the UK, obviously, but I mean, I'm starting to see like more and more of those kinds of talking points popping up in Sweden, where it's never really been a political issue. Um, like certainly not one of like national importance. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I mean, I think that's gonna be um, the way the right pivots, because if they can't make gains or appeal to people in other ways, if people start growing tired of everything being all about immigrants or whatever, then they're gonna need a new scapegoat. Shout out. Um,
To yourself.
yeah. Um, and I think the most natural one right now is trans people.
Hmm. Do you think? Hmm. Why do you think, like, queerphobia has prevailed in Europe despite some of the, I guess, more progressive legislations?
uh, I mean, again, I think it's just a tactic by the right to to pull people away from the left and from labor movements. It's create. I mean, it's the same thing as racism or immigration, right? It's creating a scapegoat, an imaginary enemy that the bourgeoisie can point the working class at and say, these are the people who are making things worse for you. These are the people who are ruining
Mm.
the country. Focus your attention on them, and in that way they divide the working class. And I mean, yeah, it's a culture war, right? It's ultimately it is a distraction. That's not to say, of course, that we should go like the MAGA communist route or whatever, where we like pretend that
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, we also hate gay people, because that's not the way to win the culture war is not playing. Unfortunately, we can't just ignore it because that puts people in danger. But yeah, we also have to recognize that it's not an organic thing that has popped up, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not a movement that has come from out of nowhere, just like from the bottom up. It is a top down political issue that has been thrusted upon the like national discord, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and we have to deal with it, but then we also have to move on, you know,
I feel
to the
it's,
things that actually matter.
yeah. I feel it's about, like, not ignoring it, but also not getting, like, bogged down by it kind of thing.
Hmm.
Like we can still like address it and acknowledge it, but without being kind of stunted or stopped by it. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because at the end of the day,
Yeah.
like that is kind of the purpose of it also, right? Like to
Yeah.
like for the left to be
And
like to like focusing all their energy into all those discourses and not making any progress, but it's
yeah.
like we can still address it and make the progress because we have to be aware that, as you said,
Hmm.
it was a top down brought to us discord. But yeah.
Yeah. Um, I think it's difficult because it's not easy to say exactly what should be done. I don't exactly
Mm-hmm.
have the answers to that because unfortunately, yes, the culture war stuff is a distraction, but it
It also
is
materially impacts people.
yeah, it does. And it is effective, unfortunately, very effective at slowing down progress of the like general labor movement. Um, so like I'm sure there are sociologists a lot smarter than me who have already written plenty about how exactly the left should counter these culture war narratives and issues. I think the general approach should be to uh, like counter it briefly, like imagining in like a national election, right?
Mm.
Say the Tories are making the election completely about like trans stuff, right? Like transgender bathroom bills, gender identity stuff, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then imagine you have a Labour Party that's not fucking shit and not led by Keir Starmer. What the Labour Party might do in that situation is to just like go out and say, that's ridiculous. We're pro LGBT. We're going to protect LGBT rights. Now let's focus on the economic stuff. Let's focus on
Yeah.
inequality, right? Focus on the things that affect all of us. This debate that the Tories are trying to have, it's a distraction. They're trying to distract you from how shit they are at running the country and how like the NHS is in shambles, how like inequality is worse than ever, how like food banks are at like record high activities. People are living in poverty, paycheck to paycheck. Like actually the stuff that people should be caring about.
Mm.
Um, so, like, I mean, like what labor is doing is, I think, the shitty version of that, which is to be like, yes, we also hate trans people, but we also care about workers. Like that's really shitty because what you're doing is that you are saying the Tories have a point, right? The Tories with
Mm.
their like transgender, like gender war discourse have made a point that they are correct in that issue because then you have ceded that to them, and then um like it becomes a race to the bottom basically of like who can be the most transphobic,
Yeah.
right? Because if you're acknowledging that like, oh yeah, trans women in women's restrooms is bad, right? Well, then if both sides are agreeing that that's a problem, then people are going to have the perception that, oh, it is bad. And so then it becomes a question of, well, who is gonna like send in the military to like protect women's bathrooms, like who's going to be the most extreme in dealing with this problem that both sides have now acknowledged is a problem, you know
Mm-hmm.
so I think what Labor's doing is not a good strategy. It's not going to work for them in the long term, even if they're going to win this election. And they're going to win this election because Labor or because the Tories have been shit. So they're going to win no
Mm.
matter what they do, which I think makes it additionally like even more egregious that they're giving in to the transphobia, because they would win even if they weren't transphobic. Like
Yeah.
they would win by large margins if they said, no, we love trans people and we're going to protect trans people. Like they would
Yeah.
win either way. Yeah. Anyway.
So basically, you hate trans people. Got it. No, but it is interesting because like you're seeing like these scenarios that are like I see as so common in the U.S. because like
Yeah.
I mean like the Democrats are so transparently just like the are just so transparently play into the Republican discourse rhetoric
Yeah.
like and so now you're mentioning how like in Europe it's going on the same and it's like
Hmm. Yeah.
damn.
I mean, like the way I see like the Democrats and Republican is, you know, the Republicans are like, we hate black people, we hate gay people, we hate trans people. Like they do the culture war shit, right?
Hmm.
And the Democrats just have to say, we don't. We are not the Republicans. At least on paper, we love gay people, right? And that's all the Democrats have to do
Yeah.
to get like the liberal and left wing votes, right? And so the Democrats are doing nothing to discourage the Republicans from doing this, right? Doing the culture war stuff. And like,
Hmm.
you know, first it was gay people until it became like politically unacceptable to be openly homophobic. And then it just shifted to trans people. And after trans people, it's going to be someone else, right?
Yeah. Or
And the
they're
Republicans,
just going to go back to immigrants or black
yeah,
people, etc. So yeah.
yeah, they're just gonna find someone else, right? And it's gonna keep going. And the Democrats are not providing any reason for why the Republicans should stop doing that because it's working for the Republicans,
Hmm.
and it's also working for the Democrats. Like the Democrats gain votes based on them not being like terrible and evil and hating people for no reason, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, the Democrats contribute just as much to the like continuing of the culture war as the Republicans do. They're like the Republicans started and then the Democrats just like keep it going. They don't put out the fire. They just provide fuel to it.
Do you think um I guess based on what you've said, Europe hasn't reached that point yet. But
Not yet.
it's like yeah, but it's like getting to it.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, and
Yeah.
ironically, you've really made me scared of Europe now.
I mean, I do think that it is worse in two-party countries, right? So the UK has a two-party system, more or less. Like they have a first past the
Hmm.
post voting system. It's pretty much all elections are between Labour and Tories. It's
Yeah.
just a question of like how big of a majority can they get. It's never a question of will one of them win. It's just by how much will they win. The US obviously is purely two-party. They only have two parties, but the UK is mostly two-party.
Hmm.
Other countries in Europe that are not two-party states that have functioning multi-parliamentary democracies, they are more resistant to this, I think. Culture war is still a thing. It's still a
Hmm.
tactic that is used, but that same dynamic of like one party being the evil one that does all the culture war shit and the other party like being like, you know, hashtag BLM, but then also being neoliberals and like hating poor people, you know, like
Hmm.
that dynamic can't really exist because you can get a party that both doesn't hate gay people and doesn't hate poor people, you know?
Yeah.
And just the fact that third parties or like, you know, other outer parliamentary parties can come in um, and take over, like populist movements, quote unquote, like the Five-Star movement in Italy, and like there's lots of examples of like completely new parties being started like this on election year, gaining like a majority in some European countries, right? That's
Mm.
impossible to even think about in like the UK or in the US. That just doesn't happen. But like it's possible in countries that have, you know, good electoral systems, basically.
Hmm.
And so that means that these ruling parties, they can never be too secure in their rhetoric, right? They can't just rely on culture war issues because people get tired of the culture war shit.
Yeah.
Um, and when you get like a charismatic populist that comes in and says the system is corrupt, politicians don't care about the people, we need real change that will affect the, you know, that will make the lives of like poor everyday working people better,
Hmm.
they actually get a shot at winning and getting majority in multi-party states.
Yeah.
So there is some resistance, I think, to
Hmm.
that the culture war dynamic that exists in the US. But I mean, it's definitely becoming more prevalent.
I will say that, for example, here in Latin America, there have been like, uh, I've been more, I've been paying more attention to like all the elections going on in the region, and
Mm,
what I've seen a trend of is like basically like when the time comes, like regardless of how many parties you have in Congress, like running for elections, etc., it always
mm,
gets to a point where like kind of all the right wing parties will vote for one thing and all the left wing parties will vote for the other thing, or at the very least you will end up having a you will end up having kind of two blocks,
yeah.
right? And
Mm,
so it's like you kind of eventually do end with a not like two party system, but definitely with like two sides in that
yeah.
sense, you
That
know?
is how it usually ends up, right? Is you
Yeah.
have a more left wing and more right wing. But the point of it not being a first past the post system is that it's not the exact same parties every time.
Hmm.
It's you know, you can have a right wing party that has some kind of scandal or they support something that people just don't like. And then that party gets voted out, and yes, another right wing party will take their place, but it's not the exact same party. And so what that basically
Oh,
means
you're
is that,
there's like more wiggle room to like change the
yeah,
rhetoric, etc. Got it. Oh
yeah,
yeah.
like there there can be basically consequences for politicians and for political parties when they fuck up or when they do something like very obviously corrupt or obviously unjust or unfair.
Mm-hmm.
Is yeah, they can be kicked out, they can be voted out, and it doesn't fundamentally change the system. It doesn't make capitalism go away.
Yeah.
um
It's like
but
better within like the structure that is already there. Like it's still like
yeah.
a better. It's still better
Mhm.
than the counterpart that you see in the US and the UK, for example.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, yeah, I would much
Hmm.
rather uh live in a country with a good electoral system, a multi-party system, than a rigid two-party system, because the left-wing party in a two-party system is never going to be revolutionary. It's never going to be
Mm-hmm.
radical. It is always going to be just to the left of the right-wing party. Like they're never going to be left-wing. They're always going to be center-left because they want to catch as
Mm-hmm.
many people from the center as possible.
I hate that you mentioned the revolutionary part because I was going to say, wow, so you support liberal democracy, but then you said that and I cannot say that.
I do not believe in revolution through the liberal democracy. No.
uh, okay. Wow. Oh my God. I love this conversation. But
Yeah.
now we're going to go through the comments, and a lot of people have left a lot of questions in the chat. And I appreciate you sharing this with your Discord because a lot of people from your Discord have come and have typed questions.
Oh,
And the
great.
first question that you've received is, what do you do all day in a rural village? Frolic in the flowers?
um, go to school. Go biking, just rolling around town with my friends. Um, go swimming sometimes. I would like go walking through the woods sometimes, looking for like I don't know, cool sticks or something.
Cool sticks.
Uh, yeah, kids love sticks.
That is true.
Mm-hmm.
All kids are gay,
Um,
confirmed.
we had a garden, so like I would help my mom in the garden plant like some carrots and flowers and stuff. We had some berry bushes, so I would go picking berries. Um, yeah,
Was
that's pretty
all
much
your
it.
food like planted?
No, no, no. We had a grocery store.
Oh, okay. I mean, I don't know how rural, but yeah. Um,
Um, no, we weren't farmers. But our neighbors were farmers. They had a field of cows and sheep. Um,
so that's where you got your meat from.
I don't know if they were meat cows or milk cows. They were just grazing. Um,
They were actually pets.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what they
Wow.
were. They were cows, okay?
Wow, you didn't care about your community, clearly.
No, not really.
Hmm. Okay, there's a question that you don't have to go as much in depth if you don't want to, but it
Mhm.
is a pretty like complex question. But it says, what would happen to urbanization and the urban-rural divide under socialism communism? You know, very simple question.
Yeah, no, that's definitely not a question that Marxists have been divided on for the last 150 years.
Yeah, and that many countries have had different approaches to.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, the goal of communism is to end the urban-rural divide. Um,
Yeah,
exactly how that will happen is a great, great question.
yeah.
uh, you could argue in favor of the proletarianization of agriculture, right? Going from like peasantry or agricultural cooperatives to a more like agricultural proletariat system where you have rather than like people who own their own land and work on it, you have workers who own on collectively owned land.
Hmm.
But I mean, that's a touchy subject. And something I feel different parts of the world are going to handle pretty differently depending on exactly how rural those places
Yeah.
are and how big of a change doing something like that would be.
Hmm.
Um, but I mean, more high-speed trains. I feel like that's a solution for a lot of problems in my world. Uh, making people more connected with each other, interconnected communities. You know, making
Hmm.
people not be as far apart from each other, so that the different the both the urban and the rural communities are dependent on each other, you know? It's
Yeah,
mhm.
I definitely see it as I always like try to talk about how like basically all jobs are just as important,
Mhm.
and so like for example like I don't know like a doctor is just as important to me as a clean worker, because at the end
Mhm.
of the day like if you don't have a clean operating room, like the surgeon will not be able to perform the surgery. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that kind of thing goes to like an a farmer is just as important as a I don't know business person or whatever. And so
Uh-huh.
like this I see this like rural urban divide as like people seeing this like farm work like farmers farm working on farms planting etc as like lesser or lower, right? And
Mhm.
so like ideally with like the elimination of alienation under socialism, communism, people will
Mhm.
start seeing all of these jobs as just as important. And so there won't be like a divide because like the farm will be just seen as just another workplace as it is like
Yeah.
an office, you know? So yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
But yeah. There was a question about if you came out to your parents ever. But you mentioned that you didn't, but I don't know if you wanted to add on that.
My parents were always accepting. Um, so I never, I don't feel like I ever had like a quote unquote coming out moment because I was never really in the closet, right? I
Mhm.
never had to hide any part of myself from my parents.
Do you think democratic socialism is worth it slash truly progressive?
Democratic socialism, as in like reformistic socialism.
I guess. I every time people say democratic socialism, I just think that they are talking about social democracy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, because I think that is what they are referring to. Because when people say democratic socialism, I don't know if they are talking about social democracy or if they are talking if they think that socialism isn't inherently democratic, which I guess
Mm-hmm.
you could argue that it's not, but it's not like bad that something is not democratic, but whatever. But yeah, like, do you think social democracy is worth it slash truly progressive?
Ooh. Uh, I think that um the labor movement has to be very cautious when it comes to dealing with social democracy because social democracy can promise the world and deliver nothing, right? So
Bernie, I'm
yeah,
sorry.
the social democracy can has historically played a progressive role for the labor movement in several countries. But the problem with social democracy is that it is ultimately not a principled working class movement. It is
Mm,
mostly liberal and mostly intellectual. And when the intellectual winds change, when neoliberalism comes to Europe, for example, in the 80s, um, social democracy will change with the wind, right?
yeah,
They will pivot to the right. They will try to catch voters from the center, um, because social democratic parties have that tendency to not imagine themselves as revolutionaries, but just as a political party whose goal is to convince as many voters as possible for every election. Um, so while social democracy can help the labor movement, there has to be a revolutionary working class movement built alongside social democrats for whenever the social democrats falter, because eventually they will.
Yeah. I mean, on top of that, I would argue that like social democracy also doesn't also kind of just deals with one contradiction that is capitalism and doesn't really uh isn't really interested in dealing with the questions of imperialism and colonialism on top of that.
Mm,
And so
no.
like inherently social democracy is very like individualistic in that sense. But yeah,
Yeah.
which is counterproductive to socialism.
Hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Mm,
There needs to be an ideologically principled labor movement as an alternative to social democracy.
yeah. What is the trans debate?
I mean, if you don't know, uh, that's it's great. That's good for you. I mean, the trans debate is just like what the homosexuality or the gay marriage debate was. It's a culture war issue stirred up by conservatives to make a big national issue about something that most people didn't really care about. Um, you know, like when conservatives in the United States couldn't really get people to vote for them on anything else because they were terrible, they just decided that gay marriage is like an existential threat to every American, and
Hmm.
they made that like the only thing they ever talked about. It's like gay marriage this, gay marriage that. And like the trans debate is the same thing. It's just saying, trans people existing is an existential threat to women's sports, and we have to do something about it. Um, yeah, that's the trans debate. I mean, it ultimately it's a made up issue peddled by conservatives because they're desperate for people to vote for them.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Okay. Next question. No pressure, sure, but how do we deal with the rise of fascist ideology in Portugal and in Europe in general?
in, in Portugal.
Yeah,
uh,
give us all your Portugal politics knowledge, Portuguese politics
mm,
knowledge.
mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I know so much about Portugal,
To
about
be fair,
Portuguese
you do
politics.
know a lot about all the countries in the world. So, just saying. Don't sell yourself short.
How do we deal with fascism? I don't know. We build a strong leftist popular force to counter it. I don't know.
I
I
mean,
I
true.
mean, if you figure out
TLDR revolution.
yeah, I mean, if you have a good, quick and dirty solution for how to counter fascism, then let us know.
Yeah. I mean, to be
A lot
fair,
of
I sometimes ask myself if any leftist movement in the imperial core can, like, if there is a possibility for socialism in the imperial core before, like, before, like, global south liberation, basically. Do you know what I mean? Because,
yeah.
like the current system in the imperial core in general is so tied to to imperialism and colonialism and the extraction of resources of the global south that I don't know if there will ever reach a point where an imperial core country will want to kind of let go of that imperialism in the
Mm.
first place. Do you know what I mean? But yeah.
Yeah. I think that there are big hurdles for imperialist nations to become socialist and for socialist movements to succeed in those nations. Um, I, I'm not gonna say whether I think the global south or the first world imperial core will go socialist first. Um, but
The
ultimately they
first
both kind
world.
of,
Interesting.
yeah.
Just kidding.
Mao used first world, second world, third world, whatever. Um,
Oh, like the Chinese. I see.
ultimately they both have to happen, right? Because
Yeah.
uh, the third world, the global south, has a hard time going socialist because of imperialist powers that are willing to use military force and political shenanigans
Yeah.
uh, to overthrow or to undermine socialist revolutions. Um, but on the other hand, I think if the global south was to by and large become socialist and to enact socialist revolutions, uh, those imperialist nations would have an easier time following in those footsteps to also
Mm-hmm.
overthrow capitalism, um, because they wouldn't be able to rely on these super profits exploited from third world nations, developing nations anymore.
Yeah. So I sure basically just mansplained and explained my point, but yeah. Just kidding. No, you did add onto it. Um, do goats eat flowers?
Yeah,
Confirm. How did how did you get friends?
thanks for that. Uh, I, I don't know. I went to school. I talked to people.
Stay in school, kids. Stay in school.
I mean, yeah, when you go to school every day, you kind of have to talk to people because you see them every day. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, for people. Wait, do people know your age?
I'm 25.
Exposed. Um, dog. Yeah, but like, I feel like Ashur and I are like relatively young, so we haven't yet reached the point in adulthood where we're like,
Mm.
I don't have
Don't know how to
friends.
get friends. Yeah.
Yeah. So
um,
yeah.
join some kind of club or organization. It's
Ooh, join a communist
that's a way.
party.
Yeah, if there's one
Meet
around you.
feminist girly pops.
Yeah. I mean, I will say this, you're not gonna make friends if you just sit inside all day. That's not a great way to meet people.
Wow, that's so ableist. Um, what is your current ideology?
Marxism.
Woo! Um, is the urban-rural divide an antagonistic or non-antagonistic contradiction?
Uh, I'm not sure how. I mean, there are aspects of it that are antagonistic, I think. Um, like the the rural workers, farmers, and landowners do have different class interests from an urban industrialized proletariat. And sometimes that causes conflicts. There is a contradiction there.
Mm.
Um, sometimes there is an antagonistic relationship. Uh, sometimes there isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, like during the Russian Civil War, right? Um, the the Bolsheviks would take away the agricultural surplus of the peasants. Um, what, but then when if you are a peasant and you know that uh, the agricultural surplus that you produce is just going to be taken away by the Red Army and given to the the urban proletariat, you don't really have any incentive to work more hours or
Or a
more days of
surplus.
the year
Yeah.
to create a bigger agricultural surplus, right? And so these peasants
Oh,
would
interesting. That's so true. Yeah.
cut down on how much they were producing and basically only produce enough food to feed themselves and their family, because they knew that if they produced a surplus, the Red Army was just going to come and take it all. So they didn't really get anything out of working harder to produce that agricultural surplus, but the Red Army was still reliant on it. That's kind of where the new economic policy comes in, where they would start paying farmers for their for their crops and stuff. But then then you make food into a commodity, right?
Yeah.
And that
No,
is
yeah.
in a contradiction, right? That's not in the class interest of the industrial proletariat. But in the Soviet Union, it was kind of the only way to avoid, the critical consequences of in the agricultural sector. Like the peasantry in the Soviet Union wanted, like, they wanted a market reform, right? They wanted small trade. They wanted commodity production.
Yeah.
Um, so there was a contradiction there between the urban and rural, and the new economic policy basically was an attempt to stave things off, to not have that contradiction turn into an antagonistic relationship. But then the new economic policy created new contradictions. It created
Yeah.
Nepmen, right? Basically recreated some of the contradictions of capitalism. Then Stalin made further reforms, and yeah.
Yeah, no. Like I've had plenty of like conversations about like the trajectory of the Soviet Union and how a lack of proper ideological development
Mm-hmm.
was a huge issue. And by ideological development, not just like theory, but genuinely understanding the realities of the people, right? And not
Mm-hmm.
knowing what to do basically, And
Mm-hmm.
it's like it was the first time that anything like that was being developed. And so there
Mm-hmm.
were a lot of mistakes and errors bound to happen, and they, of course, did happen.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, I just think it's so interesting to be able to look back and be like, these are like we are now able to like pinpoint these were the contradictions, these were the issues, and this is what we should be able to prevent now, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah. Are you a member of K?
No.
Got it. What is K?
The Communist Party of Sweden.
Are you a member of an org currently? You don't have
I'm
to
active
disclose which one, but
in some local organizations, but I'm not a member of like a national socialist organization. No.
are you in the org that Grom is a part of?
No.
Asher hates Gromsterino, confirmed.
Uh, Grom is a member of SKP, which is a different Communist Party of Sweden. But they are. I don't even know if they have a local office in my city. They're active. I know they're active in Stockholm, and I know they're active in Skåne, in the southern tip of Sweden, where Grom is.
Hmm.
Just yeah, people know that about Grom.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, he talked about it.
But yeah, where in Gothenburg where I live, there's a different Communist Party that is active, and so the SKP is not active here.
Another simple question. How do we de-radicalize those who sympathize with the right wing or hold bigoted, socially conservative views?
Like on an individual level, or like on a big picture level. Um, on like an individual level, you have to talk to them. You have to um, try to listen to them, understand what exactly their grievances are, and try to, like, without being like talking down to them or belittling them, try to
Hmm.
explain the ways in which socialism can benefit them, and how capitalism might, like, conservatives might make promises to you, but ultimately they're never going to be on the side of the worker.
Yeah.
But like, I think conservative politics and conservatives in general, it's a lot about emotions. Like, it's people who are very frustrated with
Yeah.
the state of society, and you kind of have to figure out how to meet them, um, not in the things that they're saying, but in the underlying emotional state of how they're feeling, right?
Yeah.
How, like, what exactly is it that is making them so angry? What is it uh, that is the underlying cause of them being like a radicalized conservative? And try to address that point. That said, like, you're not going to convert a conservative in one conversation. Like,
Yeah.
converting someone from conservatism to socialism, or de-radicalizing anyone, is a long process that takes usually many conversations with many people over the course of a long period of time. Depending on how radicalized they are, it can be very difficult to pull them out of that, and it's a gradual process. So if you're dealing with like a family member who's a radicalized conservative, don't get frustrated if you have one conversation with them and they don't suddenly become a Marxist Leninist. Like, it takes time. Again, because it's not, the politics isn't always 100% rational. Like a lot of the times it's emotional. And if you have like a label for yourself, like I don't know, MAGA or Trump, or like if there's some kind of brand, whatever, like there can be an emotional attachment to that
My
term.
ideology is Trump.
Yeah, I mean, for some people it
I mean,
is.
yeah, literally.
Yeah, some people believe that Trump is he's an outsider. He's someone who cares about the the little guy, and he's not a politician, and like he's gonna
And many people are
make.
saying it.
I mean, it is what people who support Trump believe. It's what many
No,
of them
yeah,
believe.
yeah. No, I'm saying that like no, whatever, but yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
do you have an opinion on the revolutionary Marxists of America?
Uh, is that a group?
I don't know, I guess.
Never heard of them.
What do you think of pineapple on pizza?
I'm a fan. It's been a while since I had pineapple on pizza, but I'm not against it.
I sure it's pizza, fake vegan, confirmed.
There's vegan pizza.
Yeah, I know.
I'm also not vegan.
You wasn't a vegan?
I've never been a vegan. I'm a vegetarian.
Oh yeah, but you still try to avoid stuff.
Yeah.
We've talked about this.
Yeah. I don't claim veganism. I feel like that's stolen valor.
Why steal it? I steal it. Look, as much as look, I try to be as vegan as possible within my current means, and I just use the label still because it like helps normalize it, like
Mm.
spreads the word, etc. But
Yeah,
people don't
maybe.
have to know what I'm eating.
I mean,
No, I'm
I
so
don't feel like
free.
calling myself a vegan if like I'm not 100% vegan. That's just like, just for me personally, I don't feel comfortable.
Are you a communist?
Yeah.
But you're not living in a communist country.
Yeah, but that's not the same thing.
Mm,
Being a communist isn't about like only eating communist food.
yummy. Yummy
There's like,
borscht.
yeah. I mean, I guess you could say I'm like politically vegan, if that is anything. Like, yeah, I'm sure
Hey, everything is political.
I sympathize with veganism as a movement and stuff, but I'm not like, I don't live according to those. I still eat dairy.
In today's age, oh, you eat dairy?
Yeah.
Oh, we have to cancel this. I am deleting this bot. Like, I'm sorry. Oh, in today's age, wouldn't there be goods and services being provided by the urban proletariat? So it would be a balance back and forth, right?
I mean, if you manage to decommodify the urban economy, then maybe, yeah, you can also decommodify the rural economy. If you're at that point already, then I mean, you've gotten pretty far on the road to communism.
Yeah. Did you grow up in Norland?
Yeah, I did. That's
Oh,
northern
really?
Sweden. Yeah,
Where is that?
it's northern Sweden.
Oh. Oh, did you I don't even know how to ask, like, did you know Sami people?
Yeah. I didn't live in Samiland in Sapmi, but
Mm.
I mean, close enough to like the historical and political or cultural boundaries of Sapmi. So I knew some Sami people. Like the Sami traditionally move with their reindeer herds, right? And I lived like kind of toward the southern end of the range of those reindeer.
Oh,
So it wasn't
interesting.
every year, but some years they would come down to to around the area where I lived.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Okay, at least answer us why the goat.
I mean the goat is just based on the name. Like it,
Oh my god.
azure,
Okay, I remember the conversation. Okay, yeah.
yeah, azure means is blue, and
Yeah.
scapegoat, like there's a finger pointing at the goat, right? Like
Yeah.
an accusatory finger, like blaming the goat for something. So the goat is the scapegoat, and then it's a goat because scapegoat. So it's Azure scapegoat. It's a blue goat being
Oh my
blamed for
god.
something. It's an Azure scapegoat.
And
Technically,
where's
it's
the
an Azure
scape?
scapegoat goat.
And where's the scape?
What?
Where's the scape?
Scapegoat is one word.
Yeah, but like you are the goat. So where's the scape?
Well, I guess the full thing would be Azure scapegoat goat
And they're fine, whatever.
because the goat is a scapegoat, so it's Azure scapegoat goat. But
I would have
I guess
said that the scape is the star because it's communism, because it's the escape from capitalism.
uh,
Yeah, but whatever.
it's a bit of a stretch.
But, yeah, and your name is not. Oh, but okay. Thank you so much for being here, Ashur. Oh my god, I loved having you, and I still cannot forgive myself for completely forgetting that you are queer. That's why I sent you the invite so late. I was like, oh yeah, sure is like gay.
Yeah, I guess.
You know what I
I'm
mean.
something.
You are somewhere in the rainbow, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah. But yeah, thank you so
Thank you
much
for
for
having me.
coming. No, yeah, of
Yeah.
course. Any final words do you want to? Oh yeah, someone had asked when are you doing the Q&A?
I haven't done a Q&A video in like years.
Yeah, exactly. That's why they were asking.
I don't know. I haven't really gotten that many questions that I feel like I need to make a video about.
Hmm. Well, you should do a video about the contradictions between the urban and rural
Yeah, maybe.
communities. I don't know. But yeah,
Maybe one
thank you
day.
so much for coming, sure. I appreciate
Mm.
you taking your time of teaching the youth. Even though you're not teaching right now, right? But whatever.
Mm. No, not
But
right
yeah,
now.
thank you.
Of course. This was nice.
Do you have anything you would like to promote?
Uh,
Your TikTok. Your
no.
TikTok.
Oh, yeah, sure. My TikTok. I don't know. Let's go to. Wait, hang on. I think I'm gonna check if the URL still works.
Oh, of Socialism
Um,
101.
no, that still works. Oh, yeah, you can go to azurescapegoat.com and that will redirect you to my link tree where you
Oh,
can
really?
find a bunch of my socials.
Nice.
Um, yeah. If you're Chinese, I have a Billy channel
Stop.
that has official Azure Scapegoat approved subtitles for my videos, translated by hand by a real Chinese person.
Really?
Yeah, high quality,
Well,
very accurate,
you
lovingly
do
made.
know Mandarin though, right?
What?
Don't you know Mandarin?
Not really. I'm not fluent.
Oh, but you know some.
It's been a long time since I practiced. I used to know more than I do currently.
That is that. Okay, but yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming, Sure. I love you having you here. Truly, you don't know how excited I was, but yeah.
Oh, I hope I lived up to your expectations.
Of course. But yeah, I'll let you go. Take care, Sure.
All
Bye.
right, take care. Bye bye.
Oh, I feel so bad because like typically when we stream or when I stream with a Sure or whatever, like we end stream and then we continue talking and then we leave the call. But because of this format, like we had to say goodbye first and then I'll end the stream. But yeah, the same way Grom does. I mean, yeah, it's the Swedish way. It's the antisocial Swedish way. But yeah, if you haven't already, be sure to like the stream because that's the thing you have to do on YouTube and stuff. Tomorrow we'll have critical ace theory on, and we'll not just be talking about asexuality, but also about their journey on the left. And if you know about um, critical ace theory, they were a member of my community while they were a member of certain other communities that were not super progressive, let's say. So it's going to be a super exciting conversation that we'll have. But yeah. Ah! Other than that, thank you everyone so much for coming. I feel weird because like I don't have people to rate on YouTube. But other than that, if you would like to support me, you can subscribe to the channel. You can also like the video, and you can donate. I think. No. Yes. Oh my God. Yes, the links work. So yeah, if you are able to, I would be much appreciated, much appreciative of any like monetary donations because like I'm having a big um trip soon, so I need to, but yeah. My hungry ass couldn't be a streamer. Oh no, like I love streaming because I can just go. I mean, sometimes I can eat on stream. Like I don't mind eating on stream. Like I have, but I just love streaming. So yeah, that's why I'm streaming on YouTube despite being banned on Twitch. But yeah, but other than that, I appreciate you all. Oh yeah, I guess you can join my Discord. I think the link should be in the description of the video, if I'm not mistaken. Uh, but yeah, okay. I think that's all for today. I'll see you all tomorrow. And I hope you have a good stream. Or instead of mine. No, no, no. No, I mean, to be fair, I did appreciate all your questions and all your chat contributions today, John Chena. Don't worry, but yeah. Thank you, Sam, for linking the Discord link. But yeah, okay. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you everyone so much for coming. I loved you all. I loved having you here. Thank you, Assure, again. And be sure to subscribe to Assure if you haven't already, because why wouldn't you? But yeah. Okay, now I'll see you tomorrow for real. Bye. Woo!